Hello, and welcome to Clea's World. I am Clea Annecchiarico, and today I would like to speak about the many ways in which we undermine ourselves and we doubt ourselves. But before we get to that, I'd like to ask you to please like, share, and subscribe to this channel. And absolutely please leave a comment because I would like to know how this resonates with you. But let's dive into today's topic. I am bringing this subject up because a few days ago, I was asked to lead a quote unquote meditation. I say quote unquote meditation because I'm not quite sure what it was going to be before we got there, but then it turned out to be a focus session. So we'll just call it meditation so you get the idea. There were 8 of us in a circle. We're holding energy to clear out certain things for the planet. And we accomplished what we came, what we went there to do. So that was wonderful. And it was quite powerful. But here's what happened. I did not realize that I was going to be asked to do that. And I had a feeling that I would be asked to do that. And it ended up being that way. And the whole time as I'm sitting there, I'm not saying that I was taken by anxiety, as if you're doing something, when you're doing something new and you might not know how it goes. It wasn't about how it was going to look or if people were going to think it was going to be okay. I would have actually understood any of these things if that had been the case. But I was overcome by this fear that I was crossing a line. And what I mean by this is that I was looking at myself as an outsider, as from the outside, and I was saying, Clea, once you do this, you cannot hide anymore. In other words, when I go and listen to anyone speak, I might even agree with what they're saying. I might even support it. I might even speak with other people and repeat what they're saying and say, yeah, that was great. But I'm not actually putting myself out there. I am letting somebody else speak their mind, and so I can agree or disagree with what they're saying. When you are the one putting out a message, you cannot hide from it anymore. You are the one, you're taking a stand, and you're saying, this is where I'm at. Now, of course, all of us can change our mind about things. I always make it a point to change my mind if I get new information that contradicts or that actually shows that my previous opinion about something is incorrect. I've never been a person to want to stick to my opinions if they are proven wrong. So I don't have a problem with changing my mind. But the point is, the moment you put out information is what you are believing in. And I felt exposed. And having always been a successful person in 3D in terms of I run my own business. I have always been, I was in corporate America before becoming an entrepreneur. I've done a lot of things in 3D where you have to appear professional, you have to appear put together, all these things. I have this image of myself where I have to comport myself a certain way. Basically, for me, this is my idea of you have to be perfect. And you might recognize this word because all of us have been programmed with the idea that we have to be perfect, whatever that means. And each one of us has a different definition, which is what makes it so challenging to be perfect, because there is no real definition. It's just a concept that really means I have to appear a certain way because otherwise I will not be up to par. I will not be okay. I will not be good enough, blah, blah, blah. There's a lot of programming in the culture, as you probably know. And I will do a separate video about this at some point. The reason I'm bringing this up is because with all the work I've done on myself and with all the rise in consciousness I've experienced over the past many months and years, and especially the past few weeks as things are accelerating for me, and I think for everybody because the energy is quickening, I still caught myself thinking, judging myself and thinking, how would someone judge me if they weren't awake? And I couldn't hide anymore. I couldn't hide behind the normalcy of everyday life. I was surprised, but I was also grateful to see this. Of course, I jumped in and I cleared all that clutter from my mind before we started the meditation. I didn't want to bring any of that negativity into the meditation space. But it was interesting because I didn't expect that. The reason I bring this up is because a lot of us are opening up to greater frequencies, to greater understandings, to things that are not concrete, to things that are not touchable, to things you cannot see with your human eyes. And we are going to question ourselves. We are going to doubt. We are going to think we are crazy. In fact, I've been talking with a friend of mine who had a QHHT session herself. This is a hypnosis, quantum healing hypnosis technique session. And what inevitably happens to all of us who go through this experience, we connect to our higher self, we go to past lives. In my case, I connected to 25th dimension. We might be on a ship in between lives, who knows? All kinds of things happen during these sessions. And inevitably, everyone to the last of us said, oh, I just thought I was making this up. I couldn't believe it. I'm thinking, what? Stop imagining this. You're just imagining. You're not. We've all done this. Why? Because it is very hard to grasp the reality of this from a 3D perspective. I have done 2 hypnoses of this kind to date. And in both instances, I was like, all right, I'm just going to say, I'm going to get up here. I'm just going to say that, I'm sorry, I just can't get into it. I don't believe this. And then I'm like, okay, so I'm going to open my eyes. The whole time I'm like, okay, I'm going to open my eyes. Okay. And my eyes are not budging. They are glued shut. So clearly I was under hypnosis, and it was obvious. If I'd actually been fully mentally aware, I would have realized I was, but you tend to doubt yourself. So the whole point of this message today is to say, when you doubt yourself, don't give too much credence to these doubts. Take them in stride. We don't want to push anything down. We don't want to reject anything. We don't want to offer resistance, but realize that they're coming from the fact that we are just not used to this. And what's happening these days is that it used to take a long time for somebody to wake up, to become tapped in or connected to source or to different types of energies, higher levels of frequencies. Today, time is quickening. Time doesn't exist, but I'm going to use human language to explain this concept. Time is quickening. The energies are quickening. People are becoming tapped in very, very quickly. That will throw you off. I did my first hypnosis session this past August. It took me 3 months to even wrap my mind around the fact that this was real, what I was getting, because it was so mind-blowing and so different from everything I had heard, which already should have given me a clue to the fact that how would I consciously make up something I didn't know? In fact, many times I found myself arguing with the messages I was getting. So clearly my mind, my ego mind, would have never come up with that because I disagree with it, until, of course, it was shown to me that this is the way it was. So you see, this is very tricky. This is a trap. This is us trying to hold ourselves back, but it's also the result of decades, years, lifetimes of programming. We have lived, and we still live in some ways, in a very dense reality. And this is going to hold us back. There is a reason why we are tapping into these higher frequencies today. It's because we are getting ready for the next step. We must let this allow. We must allow this. We must let it flow. We must follow what is coming to us. We must give it the benefit of the doubt. This doesn't mean you have to believe everything 100%. It's okay to question, especially if you're not sure where you're getting this information. But to deny at this point that there is anything beyond the 3D is kind of disingenuous. Especially if you're watching this channel, I know that you know better. And yes, I am talking to you who are saying, yeah, but this is not for me. I don't channel or I don't connect, and that's fine. And that's why I listen to other people. We all channel. This is the breaking news. We all have the same ability to connect. The only time we don't know that we do is if we are resisting it and we're holding ourselves back. We are all equal in terms of our connection to source. We all come from the same place. So if you are interested in channeling information yourself, and I don't mean channeling as start speaking with aliens or with angels or whatever it might be, For me, for example, I believe in going inside. I trust that if I go to my heart, I will connect with pure source, pure energy. Connecting with Gaia is a safe bet. Gaia is pure. It supports us. It grounds us. It loves us. And I say it's because there is no gender, obviously, but it's not an it, it's not an object. Gaia is a soul like the rest of us. It's essence, I should say, like the rest of us, because we're not souls, we are essence. Gaia is one of us. She comes from the 25th dimension. We created everything within the matrix, which is everything below the 25th dimension. And Gaia is on our team. She came to populate, to embody as a planet, just like some other of our team members have embodied as animals. But I don't want to go into all of that right this minute. This message was mainly to remind you to trust yourself, or at least allow for the benefit of the doubt, because things are happening for a reason, and we are slowing ourselves down when we don't allow this to be the answer. We think answers have to look a certain way. Sometimes answers look like you get information, you're like, what? Where's this coming from? And that's okay. I bring this up because there was a friend of mine who said she had a QHHT session a few years ago. She thought, oh, I'm just making this up, and she abandoned all of that. The fact is, she is very tuned in, and I can only imagine what would happen if she allowed that to flow, which I think she is now going to do. I wish the same of you. It doesn't have to be QHHT. I'm not a practitioner. I'm not trying to sell anything here, but I am saying whatever you need to do to open up, or to hear that nudge from the universe, so that you are ready to move beyond to a different level of frequency, because this is all frequency, all about, it's almost like we're radio. You probably heard this analogy before. We are radios that are tuning into different stations. We are going up in frequency, and it is important to not doubt yourself. I had this experience myself, as I said a few days ago. I was surprised because I have done a lot of work on myself, and I am very comfortable with the fact that there are higher dimensions, and I'm aware of them. I don't feel strange or uncomfortable talking about them. I actually I would feel very strange thinking, no, all there is what we see and what we can touch. What, like this desk. I'm knocking on it. It's real. It's the only thing that's real. There's a million things going on just in my room right now. This room is not even real. I think you get to a point where you realize everything, it's an hologram. So everything is holographic. Nothing is really real. I think I've gotten confirmation on the 25th of this. I'm not going to question it. But the bottom line is, allow things to be. And when you do feel the self-doubt, go inside of yourself, focus it with your heart, focus with your inner knowing. It will speak to you and will get you back on track. We know what we came here to do. We know who we are. We just like to deny it. We want to continue the game. But this game is going to dissolve. This game is going to end, and we must be prepared. This is not a dire warning. This is not a bad thing. This is what we want. This is what we've been trying to do for a long time. That's why we're living through the time of prophecy. This is wonderful news. This is super exciting. And we need you. We need you to listen to your guidance. All of us must be more open to the guidance we've been getting all along. So I hope you liked this video. Please like, share, and subscribe to my channel. And also please, please, please comment. Let me know if this resonates, what you think of it. Even if it doesn't resonate, let me know why. I would love to hear where everybody's at. And thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.